But first, we're less than 7 hours away from the start of the 2018 AJC Peachtree Road Race. Why don't we get straight over there to Samantha Moore? Or do we have some video? I guess we do have some video. A lot of folks are getting ready for thousands of runners, walkers, and wheelchair participants. And we're going to have a lot more in that race in just a few moments. But once again, the big question tonight is, what is the weather going to be like? Is it going to be too hot, sticky, and steamy, Sam?
It is going to be muggy. It is going to be steamy. But hey, that is the Peachtree Road Race. It's a badge of honor to survive it. And yes, we'll be watching kind of some decaying showers overnight. That'll just add to our humidity. Right now, we're seeing some of those thunderstorms working their way in. They move into Athens, and then we ended up seeing them dying out right as they cross over 285. So don't be surprised if you run into a shower tonight. Tomorrow morning, there still may be some isolated leftovers here across northeast Georgia near Clayton. Some big storms heading in right now for any campers who may be out there for the 4th of July. A lot of lightning, too. We've seen some 36 strikes in just the past 15 minutes or so. Also, we've had a lot of lightning associated with some storms here down on the south side and near Thomaston, just south of Thomaston, 32 strikes in the past 15 minutes as well. And those storms moving off to the southwest. So bottom line, there is plenty of moisture out there to see some pretty nasty storms. So overnight, expect to see a chance of a stray shower or two. For the road race itself, yes, muggy. Temperatures in the mid-70s. The humidity right around 90%. And then as we head home from the big race, maybe taking MARTA, and it's all sticky, kind of a sticky ride, we'll have chances for storms developing again as we head into the lunchtime hour. So coming up, we'll talk about the exact timing that you can expect for the rest of the day for your 4th of July.
All right, Sam, we'll see you in a couple of minutes. An armed and dangerous criminal on the run tonight, folks, and he's wanted by more than a dozen Metro Atlanta law enforcement agencies. He's accused of forcing his way into people's cars in broad daylight. Faith Abube has an exclusive look at this guy police say is a huge threat to public safety.
Police here in Conyers tell me Anthony Sanchez Vaughn is linked to about 80 car break-ins across the metro area. And each day they're adding more victims. And these aren't people who just left their car doors open.
In this case, he used a pry tool at the bottom of the window where it connects to the door and shattered it. And
then watch as the suspect, Anthony Sanchez Vaughn, casually walks back to his rental car with a handful of stuff. It's the same MO over.
Punches the lock on the truck.
And over.
In this case, he stole, I think, a gun and some credit cards.
And over again.
Until he broke into 3 of these vehicles on this occasion.
Police have been trying to catch this guy since last year.
Last week, an officer spotted him, got in a chase with him. He actually jumped off of a 10-foot wall and landed in the back window of a car. Still was able to get up and run and evade the officers.
The cat and mouse game between Vaughn and police started when he pleaded guilty to 10 car break-ins back in 2017.
Out of an abundance of mercy, the court allowed him to turn himself in because he was about to have a child, and he did not turn himself in. Matter of fact, within days of the day that he was supposed to turn himself in, he was breaking into cars again.
And Captain Jackie Dunn says he hasn't stopped since.
And it is his living to break into cars. He makes about $3,000 a day doing this.
With Vaughn switching homes, phones, and cars almost every day, it's been hard to nail him down.
We know every time we don't catch him that there's going to be more victims. At some point, somebody's going to return to their car, he's going to be in their car, and there's going to be a confrontation.
And tonight, police say Vaughn might be involved in more than just car break-ins. There's a $2,000 reward on the table for the anonymous person who can help catch him.
All right, Faith, thanks a lot. Case closed. That's what police are saying tonight after Atlanta rapper Bankroll Fresh was gunned down outside a studio more than 2 years ago. And then breaking overnight, we talked about this, his mom's house was riddled with bullets. So are both shootings connected? Police say Atlanta rapper Bankroll Fresh, whose real name is Trentavious White, was gunned down March 24th, 2016, after a shootout outside of the Street Exec studio in northwest Atlanta. Immediately after Bankroll's death, police told 11 Alive they were still trying to find his killer, and eventually they did. But
the case has been closed.
Case closed? Police are now saying that Bankroll Fresh was the actual aggressor that night, armed with a gun.
Our investigation determined that he was shot in self-defense.
We're told police eventually tracked down Bankroll's shooter, but that person is possibly still roaming free.
And there were no charges filed in that case.
The identity of Bankroll's killer is still a mystery. Police have yet to release it. However, they say they will soon. But we have another question. What happened with Bankroll's mom's house? It was shot up overnight. What happened there?
16 rounds ripped through her home as she slept. 2 of them grazed Bankroll's cousin. Could this be connected to Bankroll's shootout from more than 2 years ago?
So at this point, we have no indication that these 2 incidents are related.
When it comes to last night's shooting, there's still a lot of unanswered questions.
So at this point, we're trying to determine why they shot at this house.
Now, Atlanta police promised to release the identity of Bankroll Fresh's killer to 11 Alive no later than next week, if not sooner. We'll stay on top of that one for you. Now let's send things over to Natisha Lance with tonight's Speed Feed. And Natisha, you have some breaking news for us?
Ron, we've just learned 35-year-old Gerard Brister of Brookhaven is charged with involuntary manslaughter and reckless conduct in a fatal shooting involving 2 teens with special needs. Brister was chaperoning a group of teens with special needs on a camping trip when they stopped at Mountain Motorsports in Roswell this afternoon. Brister went inside the store, leaving the teens unsupervised in their van. That's when police say a 21-year-old with a significantly diminished mental capacity found a handgun under a seat and accidentally fired off 2 shots. 17-year-old Zachary Chambliss was killed and another man in the parking lot was wounded. Brister may face additional charges. Hundreds of you are expressing your sympathy tonight for the family of a Woodstock PTA president killed in a boat explosion. Malika Grimes Jackson was in the Bahamas celebrating her 15-year wedding anniversary with her husband, Tyron, when their tour boat exploded. She was killed, her husband was critically injured, and 9 other people also hurt. A GoFundMe has been set up for the family, and we've posted the details on 11alive.com. Now, we want to warn you about this next video out of Tampa because it looks pretty scary. So take a look at the right of your screen. A woman falls out of an SUV at an intersection and the driver just hops out, picks her up, puts her back into the vehicle, and then drives off. Investigators searched for more than 24 hours for this mysterious couple. Turns out the woman toppled out when she leaned against the previously repaired door and it popped open. Good news, she's okay, except for a few bumps and bruises.
Wow, I can't believe that.
I can't believe it either. Can you imagine
video.
just falling out of the car like that?
All right, Natisha, thanks a lot.
You bet.
Right now, you should be sleeping if you're planning to take part, of course, in the world's largest 10K race, Atlanta's very own AJC Peachtree Road Race. Tonight, elite athletes and sponsors gathering in Buckhead to kick off the celebration with a dinner. They also got a up-close look at this year's trophy, which will go on the fastest among the 60,000 participants.
We've got 48 states represented this year. Wyoming and North Dakota decided to stay home, but 48 states, 21 countries. But this is very much a local, Georgia-based event.
By the way, there was another huge prize handed out tonight, a trip to Paris for the 2019 Paris Marathon. Congratulations to Marilyn Milley of Marietta, who was selected the winner of the Delta Runway to the World contest. You're going to find everything you need to know before you head out to the big race on 11alive.com/AJC Peachtree Road Race. And coming up in about 10 minutes, some familiar names are also getting ready to run tonight.